What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is time. Is it real? And I just want to tell you about myself if your first time joining us for the podcast. I'm a medical doctor. I grew up in Russia, came when I was a teenager and went through the whole rigmarole of college, medical school, only to quit at 37 and searching for ways of helping people other than medicine, because I ended up with open heart surgery myself because of stress. So now I'm Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, 3-day Body Facilitator, podcast host, as well as founder and teacher of Akashic Records, founder of school. And I invite people to a different possibility with their lives, with their money, relationships, through different classes around the world, as well as private sessions available online and in person if you live in Chicago area or when I'm traveling. So let's talk a little bit about time. Is it real? How much have you or somebody else used the excuse, I don't have time, I need more time? What if time is not real? Oh wait, it is not. So let's play with the concept, and we'll use Access Consciousness tool or multiple tools, whatever we need to throughout the podcast. And if you're listening first time, Access Consciousness is not a religion. It's not kind of like a cult. It's just a system of different tools. And you can find out more on accessconsciousness.com, on my website, creatingabundancewithease.com. I might or might not use clearing statement, which is sounds gibberish. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. But it actually a short speak for different energies that clear stuff. And you can find out more on accessconsciousness.com or on the website theclearingstatement.com. So with all of that, Einstein talked about time being relative. If you go beyond speed of light, if the spaceship leaves Earth and comes back and it travels beyond speed of light, time will travel different for the person on a ship versus on Earth. Wow, it's mind-boggling, right? To me, it is. And it also travels different when you're having fun or when you're bored. Did you notice that? Because time is not real at all. Though we do have linear time, it was created pretty much for us to function in this physical world. We kind of talk about, in Access, there is a notion of mass reality, matter, energy, space, and time. Everything in life, and maybe I'm talking kind of like about quantum mechanics, or maybe it's spirituality. I have no clue. I'm just like bubbling here and talking about stuff that comes up for me. Because for me, especially recently, time has been, I wouldn't say an issue, but it's kind of like I'm either like trying to make time. And what's interesting, since I've been in Access, or since the last couple of years, it seems like I'm not late. Even if I'm late, it seems like people didn't start on time. They started later and I'm still on time. So today I just want to explore that. So what happens when we are fixed on being right, being always on time? Because that's what I've been taught. Kind of like that expression that it's polite for the kings and queen to be on time, but for everybody else it's a necessity. That's what my mom used to say. And I was always stressed about being on time. I was always stressed about doing things and making sure everything is completed on time. So there was so much stress with that. If I'm rushed, if people are waiting, all of that was related to time. What if you let go of that? What if you actually allow yourself to relax? What would happen to your life? And somebody asked me that question a few years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't. I have to be on time. And yet now, when I'm stressed, I'm late. If I am relaxed, everything flows. So what is that? What I found, it's actually the difference between doing and being. In Access Consciousness, we have a specialty class, Being You. It's based on the book Being You, Changing the World by Dr. Dane Hare. Amazing book. If you've never read it, please find it in a bookstore or Amazon or Kindle or whatever, like library. Everybody has it, and you can buy it, you can just read it online, whatever way you like it. There are also a lot of book clubs that's been done, free one that you can join and listen to the passages from the book. So the difference between doing and being is a space of relaxation. I always thought being is doing nothing, but actually doing nothing is still doing, and that's always connected to time element. Because when you're doing, it's always about doing something timely, doing on time, going on somewhere, you have to be on time. So there is that space of, So let's play with that. If you're not driving, you can close your eyes, or you don't have to close your eyes. Just allow yourself to be present with your body. Because you cannot be without the body. I mean, you can be without the body, but it's not fun. And then you cannot touch things, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, you cannot have sex. So it's about actually being present in the body. So allow yourself to connect with a beautiful body. And if you're watching it later, because as a show it's just audio live, but what I'm doing, I'm just sitting here in front of the computer, and allow yourself to connect through your feet to the planet, to Earth. Allow yourself to pull the energy through your feet, through your body, and allow it to exit through your head. Pull energy through your head, through the crown. Allow it to go through your body and exit through the feet into the earth. And allow those energies to connect with each other through your heart, in the middle of the chest. You don't have to know where the heart is. Majority of people do, but just in the middle of the chest. Allow it to swirl, mix, and expand. And just allow it to move through your body and spill it through your skin into the world like a sphere, and expand that sphere, kind of like pulling the energy through your crown, pulling energy through your feet, and like a fountain, allow it to move as fast as you like, as slow as you like, but just allow the barriers to drop or being dissolved and melted by the energy. And just allow it to go out maybe a mile or kilometer, depending on the country you live in. 10 miles, 10 kilometers, 1,000 miles, 1,000 kilometers, million kilometers. Not sure, well, probably like a few 100,000 will make you bigger than Earth. And keep expanding. A few millions will probably make you bigger than the solar system, and keep expanding. And just from that space, notice that stillness. Because in that stillness, as soon as I start bringing your attention, time became an issue. But before that, did you sense time? No. That's what I'm talking about. When we are meditating, when we are doing any energy work, time a lot of times is not an issue. Time is irrelevant, and time kind of like stops existing. And it probably doesn't stop existing, but it's simultaneous. And with that, the time element, when we come out of the meditation, a lot of times we feel like it was 10 minutes while an hour passed. Or opposite, we feel like we've meditated for an hour and only 5 minutes passed. So different. And time flies. You know that. You probably didn't notice, but it's time for our first break of the show. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is time. Is it real? And before we went on a break, we were talking about that time flows differently when we are having fun, or when we are bored, when we are meditating, when we are doing energy work. And also a little bit touched on the quantum mechanics of Einstein's theory of relativity, because time is totally relative, and how much time is irrelevant when we're doing something. Because sometimes when I'm doing something, I am so busy that I forget to eat. I'm not even getting hungry, because like points of view creates your reality, right? So point of view that, oh, you have to eat 3 meals a day, a lot of times translates into, oh, it's been 5 hours, I haven't eaten, so I must be hungry. Not necessarily, because a lot of times I can go like 6-7 hours if I'm busy having fun, and I'm like, oh, do I need to eat? And that comes to this other tool, I would say, or a question, because a lot of times we are so hung up on the linear reality, on time, what happened in the, especially like what happened in the past, or what will happen in the future. Some people even go to psychics to find out their future, and future is not fixed. Time is not real. So how can future be fixed if time is not real? With Access Consciousness, we talk about time not being real. In Akashic Records, which is kind of like records of everything that have been, all the possibility of past, present, and future, all the possibility of thoughts, feelings, and emotion. When you actually go into the records, which is kind of like consciousness, I would say, which includes everything in just being there, when you are in the records, you realize time is not real, completely not real. Everything is happening simultaneously, to the point where you might see past lives. You know it's past lives because of the costumes if you're seeing it, or you know it's past life, but it's all happening now. Pretty much not linear, but vertical. And we talk about this reality being 3D, but in reality it's much less, because we have so many points of view that it flattens our reality, it flattens our lives. So we can go only along that path of time. With that, not many possibilities are presented, or actually presented infinite number of possibilities, but we can see only limited amount of possibilities, because those possibilities have to match our points of view. If they don't, we don't see it. If you ever seen What the Bleep Do We Know, there is a moment where they talk about Columbus, his ships, and Native Americans. Native Americans didn't see the ships until they were very close, because it was not in their reality. They saw little waves, they saw ripples in the ocean, but they couldn't see the actual ships, because to them it didn't exist. Same with us. If it doesn't match our judgments, if it doesn't match our reality, we cannot see what's possible beyond it. So that kind of allows our reality to be flat. And it's not as much fun as it can be when the reality, or whatever like this world is, it's much more than flat. It's much more than three-dimensional. It's much more than five-dimensional. It's multidimensional. It's infinite dimensions. It's infinite possibilities. But because we created time, it allowed the limitations to stop us. What if we don't? What if we actually recognize that time is just a concept? Then we stop functioning from the past or from the future. We start functioning from choice. When we choose, everything changes, including past or future. If we are solid, if we are creating based on time, space, or matter, because matter is not real either. If you look at the things under electron microscopy, all you see is space and atoms vibrating at different frequencies, or energy, I would say, because if you look at the atom, then we go even smaller. Electron is energy. It can behave like a particle, but it's an energy wave. If it's a nucleus, proton, neutrons, and then they broken down to leptons and all of those things, basically it's energy. So matter has been created by energy and space and consciousness. Somewhat, time was also the concept that allowed the physical matter to exist. It's not a wrongness. It's just what is. If we stop functioning from the limitations, when infinite possibilities are available and we start creating from energy, space, and consciousness, then we can change anything, including our past. And I know it's kind of like a mind twist. Same like time not being real. Mind cannot understand it. Don't even try. This is about choice, not understanding. This is about creating and being instead of doing and looking for hows. Because when we look, how can I do that? It's not linear. Because time is not linear. Well, it is, but it's not real. So I know it might not make sense right now. It probably doesn't even make sense to me. And you can ignore me completely. Or you can look at it and choose something different. Choose to relax. Choose to be instead of do. Instead of relying on time as true and real, or relying on time as something that is kind of like is, then a lot of things becomes limitations. What if we can go beyond time? What if we can go beyond anything you've created so far? How much more fun can you have? Because with time comes karma. A lot of people look at that because if time is linear, then your past influences your future. Whatever happened in the past, all the unfinished business, you bring with you to present and to the future, and you have to pay for it. You have to finish the unfinished business. What if all of it is totally irrelevant? What if you can just look at that and kind of like, interesting. It was in a different lifetime, who cares? It's irrelevant now, let's move on. And that past life actually happening simultaneously somewhere, somehow, in a different dimension, creating different choices. So I am here. What if I just relax and be? How many of you just contracted when I was talking about that? When we contract, we make ourselves solid. In the first part of the show, we talked about expansion, and I did expansion exercise. And you can download that from the website, creatingabundancewithease.com. There is a lot more information about what I do, what I don't do. And it's a free meditation where you can do it at your own at your own time. Yeah. And what if time is not a wrongness? What if you can use it to your advantage instead of disadvantage? Because up till this, maybe a few years ago, I didn't use time to my advantage. I kind of looked at time as an enemy, especially with aging. How many of you are looking at time as something that you cannot reverse? Wow. Aging you cannot reverse. Because aging is connected to time, right? But if time is not real, is aging real? How much of aging is actually a point of view? There were a few people in history that kind of didn't age much, or aged with total grace, total ease. And it's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about time and aging, and maybe let go of some of the points of view. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is time. Is it real? Before we went on the break, we started talking about aging and time. Because aging would not exist if time wasn't real, right? But time is not real. It's relative. But because we made time real, we actually created aging. Aging of our bodies, aging of everything. So what if it's not true? What if we can reverse aging? There were a few people in history where, I don't remember the name of that actress, who was 104 and had a young lover. I think he was like 25, 27. And she actually looked beautiful. There was a couple of Russian actresses in their 70s or 80s. They looked gorgeous, and they played roles of 30 and 40-year-olds. So it's about our point of view. Our point of view creates our reality. So if we believe the aging is real, it will be. And what's interesting, aging is kind of like a sore spot for a lot of people, not just when you get older. The kids, they want to get older, so they're trying to rush time. They're trying to kind of like get to be adults faster. And then when you're older, you're trying to slow time because you don't want to get older. So all of that is, what if you just let go of that and just relax? What if you just be? That space of being is pretty much just what creates our reality. It can, and then we start being that multidimensional being where we can create just from thoughts. Because if our point of view creates our reality, and it does, what if we changed our point of view? And instead of believing in limitation, start creating from infinite possibilities. What if we don't have to suffer? And yeah, the question in the chat right now, how much does judgment come into play with aging? A lot. The more judgment about aging people have, the faster they actually grow old and create diseases. I had a patient when I was practicing traditional medicine, and that kind of like created a different reality with aging for me. That woman was 99 years old, and she came with a minor problem, but it was more cosmetic in nature. She was always having makeup, her hair done, always dressed up, totally in her mind, and she complained about this little thing. And I was like, don't touch. She's like, no, I have to remove it. Why? Well, when I go for vacation in Florida, I don't want my boyfriends to see it. And I'm like, wait, how many boyfriends do you have? And she's like, I have 2 boyfriends, 99 years old. So she didn't have the judgments about getting old. She didn't have any medical problems, like really serious ones, because to her, she was enjoying life to the fullest. She had relationships, she was actually talking about bikini. Like, when I'm wearing bikini, I don't want my boyfriends to see me like that. And I'm like, okay, that's point of view I'll have. I'll have that point of view that no matter what age, I'm going to enjoy life instead of pain and suffering. Her daughter, on the other hand, had a different point of view. Her daughter had a lot of medical illnesses. She was overweight. She actually looked older than her mother. How interesting is that? And as the question, how much does judgment come into play with aging? Totally. The judgment of time, the judgment of aging, the judgment of what comes with aging. And what's interesting, because if we have the judgment, if we have a point of view, nothing that doesn't match that point of view can come in. Because I guess I had a little bit wider reality with aging when this woman came in and showed me a totally different possibility with aging. What if we don't have a point of view? What if we let go of the point of view that time is linear and no matter what we do, we'll age and die? What if death is something we can choose? Oh, wait. Actually, we do choose when to die. A lot of times we choose not consciously, because there are a lot of choices that come in that non-conscious or unconscious or anti-conscious, because everything we create in our lives based on our point of view. So if our point of view is, oh, people get old, disabled, debilitated, and they die at 80, at 70, at 90, it doesn't matter what the expiration date people put on their body, they start killing the body slowly but surely. It's about choice. What if we chose something different with our bodies? Instead of having a point of view that it will age and die, we'll have a point of view, I'll enjoy life to the fullest. I will have all of the kind of like perks of the body while I'm alive. And then when I choose to, I'll let go young. Because if you look at animals, a lot of animals, I'm not saying all the animals, because a lot of animals pick up points of view from their owners and they pick up the projections and expectations from the owners. But mostly, animals look young, act young. They pretty much, like, I even look at my dog. He looked and acted like a puppy when he was 14 years old. And then over a period of 2 or 3 days, he chose to go. He was like, oh, I'm done. And he was done. But he didn't look like he was aging. He didn't look sick. Even that he did create cancer somehow, somewhere. It was a liver cancer, but still, he didn't look or acted sick until 3 days before he was gone. Same with my cat. He wasn't aging until he just dropped dead one day. So what points of view do we have that keeps time as a real concept, as something that affects us? What if we let go of those judgments? Thank you. And with all of that we talked about it, how much suffering do we create with time? And I'm not just talking about physical with aging. I'm talking about emotional, at work, deadlines. And what's interesting, did you notice the word deadline? It's a line where you pretty much die, right? How creative is that? And how appropriate? Because all those deadlines actually do create death in the body, because people stress. Oh, I need to finish this by this deadline. Oh, I need to do this. I need to present the project. All of that is creating stress, creating the hormones that slowly but surely create aging and death. What if you didn't have deadlines? What if you just chose to create based on the creation itself and allowed yourself to be present? And what if action is much easier when you're being? What if it's about just choosing and being and creating instead of suffering and having pain and stress and motivation? Oh God, yeah, I think we will need to talk about motivation after the break, because that's a huge topic as well. And it's time for our third break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is time. Is it real? And in the first three parts of the show, we were talking about how time is connected to aging and how our point of view creates our reality, how doing a lot of times creates that linear time, and time is not real. How time flows differently based on what we are doing or being. If we're meditating, if we're having fun, time can slow down or can speed up. And when we are children, we try to make time go faster, though a lot of times for kids it's very slow. For adults, when we get older, we try to slow the aging, the time, and yet it goes very fast. What if all of it is not real? What if all of it can be changed based on the point of view? And if you're just joining us on our last leg of the show, last part of the show, I'm a medical doctor who became Access Consciousness Facilitator, Akashic Record teacher, and founder of School of Akashic Records. And you can find out more about me on creatingabundancewithease.com. You can join me on multiple social medias, Facebook, on the Helen Gitlevich personal page, or Creating Abundance with Ease, which is my business page. Also, I've been doing a lot of videos and work in Being You Without Hiding with another facilitator, Rachel Silber. There is also 31 days of Zone No Judgment that Lale and I have been doing, where we are kind of like last month in August, we did a few videos, a few posts to challenge people to stop judging themselves. Also, if you're in Chicago area, I'm doing a couple of live classes, Access Bars class and Access Facelift. Bars is tomorrow on September 9, and Access Facelift on September 20th. Also, if you're in Taiwan, in November, I'm doing 3-day body class. And you can find out about other classes on either accessconsciousness.com or creatingabundancewithease.com. I'm also going to be doing a few free Zooms, especially during the months of September and October, where it's Suicide Awareness Month, as well as, I guess it's Psychology Month or something like that. And there is a program, You're Not Alone, on Access page, where you can find out either people doing bars for free or Zooms, and you probably will be able to find some of mine, or just go on the web page. Also, the show is coming to the end, but it's not the end, because next week will be same place, same time on Wednesdays. It's a live show at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can find out more on the Inspired Choices Network app. It gives information about all the shows. And next week we'll have, Does Your Life Have Abundance or Lack? We'll talk more about what it means to have abundance, what it means to have lack, and how much of that is all perception. Because a lot of it is also connected to time, that people have the idea that they need to create a certain time frame, that they should have that much money by certain age, this much money by certain time. It's all interconnected. If we let go of the concept of time, would we actually have stress? If we didn't have concept of time, would we have judgments? If we didn't have time or concept of time, would we actually age? All of those questions are to open you up to a different possibility, to infinite possibilities. So what if, I know we have a tool of the week. One of the tools I love is, how does it get any better than that? What else is possible? The questions. The more we ask questions, the less we go into conclusions, the less points of view or fixed points of view we have. Because if we have fixed points of view, a lot of times it's just that, fixed points of view that keeps us like a marionette, like a puppet, stuck in pretty much this reality, and this reality is pulling the strings. Because we have those points of view, we're trying to do the right choice, we're trying to do the right thing. All of those is pretty much a strings of a puppet that pulls us in different directions, and we are not moving. Because if you have different points of view, and we have billions of them, with all those strings, how much tied down are we in this point of time? And the pun is intended. What if you cut all the strings? What if you let go of all your points of view? How much more movement in your body, in your life would you have? How much freedom of choice would you have? Because we all talk about free will. Do we have a free will if we have points of view? Not really. Our points of view dictate where we go, what we do, how we do it, who we meet, who we be with, who we love, who we don't love, who we receive, who we don't receive. All of that does not allow us the choice. And all of those strings are along the timeline. The timeline is the one that keeps us going from point A to point B to point C to point D. And what if those points are totally irrelevant? What if they are not relevant to our life, to our joy, to our fun? People ask me, what's the purpose of my life? I have little time left on this planet, and I need to accomplish my purpose. And I look at them, and it doesn't matter if it's access consciousness, if it's Akashic Records, if it's theta healing, it's always the same. Purpose of life is to have fun. And when you're having fun, time is irrelevant. No matter how much time you have on this planet, if you have a minute, a year, 10 years, 1,000 years, it's still about having fun. It's about choosing joy. Choosing is joy and glory. Access has a mantra. If you're new to Access, if you've never heard it, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Or all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. It doesn't mean that everything is peachy. We create things from fear, from stuff other people create from pain and suffering, or from concept of matter and time, meaning from karma. So it's not always wonderful, but if you look at everything, you will choose all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And as I said, our show is coming to the end. We have only like a minute left. Just wanted to remind you to go to creatingabundancewithease.com webpage, or connect to me on Facebook, Instagram. Find me there. I post most of my classes on the business page on Facebook, Creating Abundance with Ease, as well as on the website. Join me on live classes. Join me on the Zooms, on Facebook Lives, doing a lot of clearings. And join me on next week's podcast. Does your life have abundance or lack? And I'll see you next time, same place, on Inspired Choices Network, and you can use an app. It's much easier to listen live. Bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.